Welcome, listeners and viewers far and wide, from Iceland to Islip. I'm Eirik Gislason, associate broker and team leader of the Excelsior team at Brown Harris Stevens, master certified negotiation expert and instructor, founder of Archway Partners Coaching, and your host of Shear Negotiation Mastery, a podcast bound and determined to reclaim and restore the good name of negotiation and unlock the door to value creation, win-win solutions, and the true power of collaboration and integrative negotiations. And today we have an exceptional theme to discuss on Shearline and an even more exceptional guest to help us learn from it. When it comes to negotiation or unlocking value in any aspects of our lives, self-confidence and competence are a powerful pair of pins in the lock. And neither works as well without the other. Confidence gives us the courage to speak up, hold our ground, and project strength. Competence gives us the substance to back it up. Together, they create a presence that's hard to ignore and even harder to manipulate, gaslight, or bully. And in this episode, we're going to isolate the self-confidence piece, that internal voice that allows us to walk into the room knowing our value, our worth, and our ability to deliver. Because when we truly believe in what we bring to the table, others are far more likely to believe it too. Our guest today, attorney Maria Yiannitsarakos, knows this space intimately. Maria is a New York City attorney, fractional general counsel, strategist, blogger, and speaker who's been negotiating major business and real estate deals for over 25 years. As a trusted advisor, she's known for her razor-sharp instincts, commanding presence, and unapologetic approach. She helps founders and small business owners protect what they've built and scale with clarity and power. And as a coach and mentor, Maria empowers women to show up boldly in negotiations, business, and in life. So welcome to Shearline, Maria. I'm so thrilled to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. And please, no Yiannitsarakos, Maria the whole way.
Okay, you got it. All right, I said it once, and now I'm just going with Maria the rest of the way.
That's
awesome.
enough.
Thank you. Thanks for that out. I really appreciate it. All right, so I want to start the conversation with your social media presence, because that's how we got to know each other. We connected. And you have an exceptional social media presence. And I've noticed that a lot of your fantastic content, if you're not following Maria on all social media channels, you should, and she'll tell you where at the end of the interview. But a lot of your content I see has a confidence theme and an unapologetic confidence theme, I might add. So can you tell us more about that, where you come from on the social media front?
Well, it all starts from confidence. It really does. It all starts, to get on social media, it is so, it can be an uncomfortable situation. So I got on social media on LinkedIn specifically, and now I'm on Instagram also, in 2020.
Okay.
I was like, I want to start talking about things that matter to me. And having the confidence in myself to put myself out there, that alone takes self-belief in yourself. Mm-hmm. Confidence is, and I think it's my superpower. It really, truly is my superpower, and everybody should have that superpower. And I think a lot of it also is my positive outlook towards life. I say on LinkedIn, I always call myself the curator of positivity. So confidence, when you have this positive outlook that no matter what, you're going to figure it out. That no matter what, you got this. Like confidence, that's what it is. It's, I got this. I believe in myself. I trust myself. Whatever it is, I'm going to figure it out. And that comes out in my writing, in my posts, in my social media, in my negotiations, in my relationships. As the one thing that people say, if they want someone as a hire, right? Confidence makes such a big difference.
It's huge,
right?
Yeah.
If you want someone to close your deal, confidence, you feel it in that person when they exude that confidence, when they know who they are. They're authentic, they're real. They don't care. They would like you to like them, but it's okay if you don't, because I'm okay with me, because I like me.
Yeah.
So that's the most important. And that comes through in everything you do. And it has always been something from a young child. I was always this way. I always had this positive outlook, and I always had this confidence that just came out of me. Like it was from speaking to people to, I also grew up in the restaurant business, so that does help.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have to like people and you have to be able to
Yeah.
speak to people and you have to, it's so important. So that all translates to my posts. And that was what happened on social media. I wanted to get on social media because like, okay, I figured out what I do right, and how can I share this to the world and get people to feel empowered, feel like they have control over their lives, whether through their confidence, through their negotiation skills. It really mattered to me. I wanted to share my skills, my mindset, and if it could help and the whole point is to help someone get what they want.
Yeah.
Get what they deserve in life. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted.
And it absolutely does show through in your social media. It is a superpower, as you said. And it is something that as someone watching those videos or seeing what you write, seeing what you post, you can see that sense of confidence. And it's admirable and enviable to a lot of our listeners and a lot of our viewers, I'm sure. And you mentioned that this is something that has been with you for a long time. Do you remember as a child or when you realized that you had this tremendous amount of self-confidence?
Well, you know, sometimes circumstances in life, you think, oh, that person shouldn't be the way they are. Well, that would be me, meaning I didn't grow up in the best environment, very negative environment, but somehow I always had this positive outlook towards life. So I almost felt like it was innate. And I don't know if you've ever heard of strengths finders. I don't know.
I'm a certified coach.
Oh, okay. So you see, all right. Well, take a wild guess what my number one strength is. Number one.
Gosh, belief.
Well, that's one of my top
Positivity?
five. Positivity. So no matter what happened, positivity. And the second is win
Of course,
over.
You are woo. There's no question about it.
So those are two. So I never knew what those were. So I'll talk a little bit about that, right? So I didn't know what Strength Finders was. I didn't know any of this. You know, a lot of this is discovering yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So I never knew what any of those things were. So I was encouraged, I guess, like 10 years ago, they're like, oh, you should really do your Strengths Finders. My husband kind of knew what my strengths were, but, you know, and it was a very difficult time in my life. So you would think when you take that test that what was happening in your life, you know, I was going through some challenges, that would show up in the test, right? So my number one was positivity. Number two, woo. Belief has always been on the high end, because when you are self-confident in yourself, you have belief in yourself, and you're okay with speaking out for what you believe in, right? You have no problem with that. So both were the number. As my husband's like, of course you are. He's like, it just emanates out of you. I'm like, okay. So, but I'm like, this is such a hard time. But then I remember the questions. So it was about, okay, this difficult thing happened. So it's confidence, positivity, confidence is very interrelated. So difficult thing, and they ask you a question. It's fast, the question, right?
It's like a 90-minute assessment.
So I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, it's still going to work out because I got this. Like, I didn't even think twice that I don't have it. So no matter what my scripts, and in the meantime, I'm going through a lot of stuff, and I'm still like, oh no, I got this. And then again, so a few years later, I was going through another difficult time, and I'm like, I couldn't find that test. I knew what my top five were, and I couldn't find it. I don't know what happened. So I was going to a women's retreat, and they had me redo it.
Okay.
They're like, just do it again. So you would think it would change. But no, StrengthsFinder is what you are innately.
That's right. Your innate talents.
Right, your innate talents. So I took the test again. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna whatever. Positivity, woo, 1 and 2. Belief came up to 3 because it was during a time where my belief system was being questioned, and I was like, haha, no, I believe in what I believe in. You don't believe, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I'm strong in my belief system. So so I think it was a little bit of innate for me.
Yeah.
And of course, everything, my being able to interact with people, I think really, truly liking people.
Yeah.
I think, and that comes from, I think, just being in the service industry. You can't go into speaking to people and thinking you don't like them.
Yeah.
Because if I like them, then I assume you like me too. I walked in, I'm like, oh, Eirik likes me.
Well, and as we know from negotiation, one of the most powerful things is not getting people to like you. It is showing them that you like them. And that is such a huge, again, superpower for people to believe that, hey, this person likes me. They like who I am. And that's so much more attractive than getting people to like you.
Right. So what I say about, okay, so great. So I have this belief system. I like myself. I trust myself. What does that mean for others? Well, the truth of the matter, I hate to say that truth of the matter, but this is the truth. When I trust myself, when I believe in myself, when I value myself, when I have a high self-worth, you're going to believe it too. You're going to trust me. So it's the Latin word fidere. I don't know if confidere is, it's with confidence. And that's what trust means. So when I am confident in myself, you're going to be like, oh, certain things are signaling in your head. Oh, well, then she must be confident in her abilities. She's reliable. She's likable. She's this. Why wouldn't I trust her?
And that piece of confidence, what it does to build trust, which, as we know as negotiators, is so key. We're going to take a break. I will say that I am a huge Clifton Strengths Finders. If you don't know Gallup Clifton Strengths, it's amazing. I am ideation, belief, input, positivity, futuristic. Those are my top 5.
Okay.
So we'll go to a break and we'll come back after this.
I'm Brian Scott Cohen, one of the top loan originators in the country and the #1 mortgage originator at Guaranteed Rate Infinity. Guaranteed Rate Infinity arguably has the most advanced tech in the industry. Our completely digital loan process makes it easy and efficient for homeowners, from a 15-minute pre-approval to the digital application and through closing. My team and I would love to help you get into the home of your dreams.
What do you really need to know about buying or selling a home? First, it's serious business, and it's complicated. There's a lot of money on the table, and emotion too. You need an agent who knows the ropes. So, whether you're buying or selling your home, work with professionals who have a mastery of the craft.
Welcome back to Shear Line, everyone. I'm here with Maria, and I want to switch gears a little bit and ask you, what techniques or mindset shifts do you suggest in order for negotiators to stay centered when the stakes are high or they're being challenged aggressively in a negotiation?
Well, first thing is you do need to stay calm. I have a stoic approach. I'm going to bring that in a little bit. Before I started learning about, even knowing about negotiation or learning or reading books, I never took a course. I know we discussed this before. Yeah. Negotiation wasn't a class that you take in law school. Maybe there is now, and if there isn't, I should teach it. So I needed to figure this out, okay? And I always had this approach of not letting things affect me. And part of it is confidence, right? Because when you are I'm going to bring in confidence, but I'm going to also bring in the stoic approach. Yeah. So confidence, if you know your worth, you're not nervous. You don't feel defensive because I'm open to your what you're thinking. I want to hear about it because it's not making me feel bad about myself because I'm already okay. So I'm looking for, so while you would never think that, but the confidence brings in empathy.
Yeah.
It brings in the emotional intelligence into the conversation. And remember, if you're starting from confidence, you already have this trust feeling between yourselves. Like there's oxytocin, all dopamine, all good stuff coming out of in their heads and in yours at the same time, because you're building. So whenever like you're building a relationship, right, of trust, you have these, it's like neurochemistry, right? You're feeling all these feelings and you're feeling this bonding. So I think, so when you're starting from beginning from confidence, it's going to make a huge difference just in the overall conversation. Now, one of the things I'm gonna say the Stoic part, and then I'm gonna give you little things that I think are very important.
Great.
So the Stoic approach. So I started. I love Marcus Aurelius. My favorite book is Meditations. It's my top 5.
Nice.
My top 5 is Meditations, How to Win Friends and Influence People, another one.
one.
So good. But the Stoic approach is, you know what? I'm not going to get upset by you. I have to be able to be in control of my own reaction. I can't control you and how you're going to act and how you. I can't control that. I can only control how I am going to react, how I am going to deal with this. And that could make such a difference in a negotiation, just having that Stoic approach, not get emotional. You can't get emotional during a negotiation. When you lose, the minute you get emotional, you're going to lose. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
You can't let emotions, yes, excited, this, not that kind of, I mean, emotions like, get defensive, get upset with the other person. That is not going to move the needle on the negotiation.
Not at all.
So you need to keep your emotions in check. And when confident people have a better way of doing that, people who have a Stoic approach can do that in a better way. And this way, when I at the same time, I'm projecting this confidence and this calm. Guess what? You do too.
It does. It brings the temperature down, right?
Down.
Yeah.
I don't. So you could go at me. I'm going to lean into you. I'm not going to. Why did you see that? I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So I'm gonna. That is very important. Now, little things that I think are important is you don't want to fidget. You don't want to, all these little things that I'll tell people, you got to be careful of your body language because your words are a very small part of what is going on, okay? Right. There's the body language, the tone, the eye contact. Like right now, do you feel comfortable with me?
I feel very comfortable.
And this is our first time we met.
You walked in, and I felt like I knew you. I felt like you were confident, that we were
already connected.
Exactly.
Right? So these little things like you don't even notice.
Yeah.
But and it's not here. I'm not here. I do it naturally. My posture, right? I'm not slumped.
Yeah.
Right? People like when somebody's slumped, do you feel like they even know what they're talking about? Do you feel like I want to make myself big? Yeah. I tell everybody, I'm like, please. I'm like, the first thing, and even if you're speaking to someone, when I take calls, I prefer them standing. I feel more confident and good about myself and secure in myself when I'm standing. If I'm sitting, then I'm going to sit up straight. I'm always mindful of my posture. It's important. I also have a husband who's a chiropractor, but
there you go. That helps.
But no, I was always like this. But we just threw that in there.
Little plug.
But so my eye contact, my tone, before someone even meets you, before you start talking, somebody already has made an opinion on you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you've seen me, my hands, right? They're open. I'm speaking to you. I speak with my hands naturally.
Yeah.
People should do it more because it shows I'm open. You can trust me.
Yeah.
Do you have a feeling of warmth for me?
Yeah.
Feeling of, but do you also feel like I'm competent also at the same time.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all of those, you'll see that from my cues. So those are little things that people can do so easily to help them look more confident, even sometimes if they don't feel it. I'm not saying to fake it.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying to fake it, but sometimes you need a little, just be aware of these little things and how you perceive it.
Yeah.
You're perceiving confidence from me from the way I'm personifying myself. I'm, my body language, my eye contact, my hands, the tone of my voice is friendly, my smile, like all those.
So here's the question: can you fake it? I mean, there are cues, clues. There are little tricks. There are strategies that you mentioned. But clearly, all of those strategies for you come from the fact that you have a high level of self-confidence. So, is it necessary? I mean, Amy Cuddy talks about power poses and things like that. Those things that you can do walking into a negotiation or a conversation.
And those are important because
They're
it gives
so
you a little.
important.
You're like,
Yeah.
I feel a little better. I feel a little more. I feel like Wonder Woman. Like she
Right.
says.
Can a negotiator use those tips and tricks if they're lacking self-confidence, or is it required for them to say, okay, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to work on this confidence so that when I do these things, they're actually coming from a place of confidence, of self-efficacy, of self-assurance and self-worth.
Okay. You need both. That's my opinion.
I agree.
You need both. You need both. I mean, I don't want to sound, but you need both. So charismatic people. So all the things I said is what a charismatic person is.
Yeah.
So somebody who has charisma is not always confident.
I agree. Yeah.
And confident people are not necessarily charismatic.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting conversation. Now the charisma, I guess people would call me confident, but it's my innate confidence, but it also comes out in my charisma. So what they say is people get influenced or make decisions about you from warmth and competence. And that's what charisma is. So warmth is, do I like you? Do I trust you? Right? So that's one part of it. But it's not just that. They also have to feel that you're competent. Yeah. Exactly what you had discussed that in the beginning.
Right.
We said we were only going to talk about confidence, but I'm going to talk about competence too because it's so interrelated.
Yeah.
So competence is, can I rely on you? Mm-hmm. I mean, so I've proven myself, right? I mean, when I walk in, I can influence people and their decisions through my charisma, but innately, I am also confident. So I already have that inner belief in myself. But some people could have that, but not necessarily that they're that confident. It's just they're winning others over is a charismatic trait.
Right.
Right? So my all of that, my excitement, the way I speak, it's all part of my persona. And that is what charisma is. Now, those things can be, while they come to me naturally, I don't even know. So interesting, when I started learning about all this stuff, I'm like, that's what I do. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's something you can learn. I'm like, so, which is cool though.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that?
It's so cool.
Why not? Why not? The little things of smiling. Like when I meet someone, before I even meet you, I'm always like, oh, I put my hand right out there. I'm going to do that. Other people might need to learn that.
Yeah.
They might need those little things, from like from your body language to your posture, all these little things. Not only are you going to be perceived more confident, but you're going to start feeling it too. You're going to start thinking, yes, I am that person.
Yeah.
So, and then in the meantime, I want you to start believing in yourself, in your confidence, real confidence, meaning that authentic self-esteem. Right. And that comes from positive self-talk.
Yep.
I mean, positive self-talk.
Yep.
Huge. If you are continuously saying negative things to yourself, or, oh, I don't think I could do that. I don't believe in can't. That's not even in my vocabulary. My kids will tell you, they're like, just a funny story. So one time my kids were on the playground, and they're all grown now. And and the teacher later on, she goes, oh, I just wanted you to know, she kind of made it sound like it was a bad thing. Like, I guess they were on the monkey bars, and one of the little girls was saying, I can't do this, and my child, of course, is like, there is no can't. There is no can't.
Coaching her through the monkey bars.
Oh
I
my
love
God! I'm like, what did I do? But we were just talking with my kids. Now they're grown, 18, going to be 21 and 22, and they all have that. It's because of me.
I love it.
It's you have to show who you are,
Yeah.
and then your kids are going to be like, oh, okay, that works. And look, she gets to do this, this, and this because she did this. And then they figure it out too. And suddenly they don't believe in can't.
Yeah.
So can't. So positive self-talk, so important, because if you're telling yourself a negative thing, you're going to start looking for negative things.
Right.
I don't want to look for a negative. I'm going to look for the positives. I'm going to look for all the things that I did right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking into account that I'm not perfect, and I'll work on those. But I'm okay. I kind of say, I'm going to work on those, but look at these great things. So my mind starts looking for the positive.
Yeah. And when we celebrate those small wins, when we look for the positive things of outcomes, that's going to fuel our confidence. It all goes right back in, and then when we go back into action, we go back into action with a little bit more confidence by celebrating those wins. I'm a huge fan of positive self-talk. I've got a 9 and a 12-year-old. So if my 9 and 12-year-old can grow up like your kids and have that same sense of positivity and self-worth and confidence, I'll be a very, very happy dad.
It's the most important thing. Listen, you are showing them how it is, and they're going. That's the most important thing. If they're going to lead, you're leading by example, and that's the most important thing.
Well, I'm gonna hold that thought because I'm gonna lead by example and take a break.
Okay.
And then when we come back, we'll continue our conversation about confidence. This is, oh my gosh, this is fun.
Ultimate Diamond is New York City's most established family-owned jeweler. With over 65 years of experience, Ultimate is renowned for its exceptional, custom-crafted diamond jewelry, its bespoke engagement ring designs, and its ability to source rare, distinguished timepieces. Ultimate has built a legacy of timeless craftsmanship and discretion, making it a trusted name among those who value refined luxury. Learn more at ultimatediamond.com.
When we first started Excel Real Property Management 11 years ago, we did so with the intention of protecting the investment community. Here at Excel Real Property Management, we focus specifically on serving the needs of individual apartments, townhouse, and small multifamily building owners both in Manhattan and select neighborhoods of Brooklyn. Our services encompass everything: rent collection, expense payment, handling maintenance and repair, turnover between tenants, insurance needs. Literally anything that an investor would typically handle him or herself, we take care of for them. Whether you hold one individual apartment or a rental building that houses 20 units, Excel is here to help with all of your specific needs.
All right, we are back with Maria. And my next question for you, Maria, is can you tell us about any rituals or routines you suggest using before a big negotiation that help clients lock in that confidence?
I think one of the most important things is you have to know why you're doing what you're doing, right? You really need to know that the big picture. I start with the big picture, and I always say to myself, okay, what's the most important thing I need to get out of this? What is my number one? And what helps me is, of course, having that conversation And when I have that conversation with my clients specifically, because now here I am, let's say I'm represented or they're coming with me, and I want them to feel good and know where we're heading. I don't want them to ever feel like they have to settle. Like, I don't really like that word because because a negotiation really is value for value. Now, and I really do aim for win-wins. Now, as long as you're getting value, it's a win. Okay.
Yeah.
Both sides have to get value. Otherwise, you don't negotiate. There's no reason. There has to be value on both sides. I have closed deals and done negotiated in situations where I really shouldn't have gotten what I mean. I was the little guy. You know, I was representing the little company.
With less power.
With less power. And I'm just gonna, before I give you what I go through with my clients, perceived power, perceived confidence is power.
They're absolutely.
So I don't know if you've ever read
well said.
Herb Cohen in Negotiate Anything, that book. Have you ever read that book?
Yeah.
Okay. So he says it's perceived. So that's why we're going back how important the perception of confidence is. The perception, because that is giving me power where that person might have more power in other ways, but because I am perceived as confident, that is power.
Yeah.
Confidence is power, and it's the perception. Even if you don't have
That's
it.
right.
I got it. But even if I don't got it, I'm going to exude confidence in a way and to be perceived as confident, because that's going to give me an upper hand. So that's number one.
Power is perceived, not absolute. Always.
Always. And that's why it is important. All these little tricks that I did say, they're not tricks, but little things that I say are important in the overall perception. Now, with that said, you really want to know what ultimately you want to achieve, right? What are your non-negotiables? I can't stress this enough. Anything from a relationship to anything. When I was like, I'm going to get married, okay, what are my non-negotiables? Same thing with a deal. What are my non-negotiables? Okay, so I'll go through the analysis. I'll go through the best alternative to negotiated agreement. I know it's a BATNA, they call it. It's your plan B.
That's right.
I have a plan B, a C. I mean, I do make sure I'm well prepared, and that being prepared, even if you don't have this confidence, be prepared. Go through the analysis. Know what your options are. You've got to do that, because otherwise you're going to go into it blind. You're going to get frazzled when people are going to push. But if you know what is my plan B? What is this? If I have a different option, okay, I'm good. I can walk away. That's what the next thing. You got to know what your walkaway point is. Yeah. You got to know. And then you have to actually walk away. So I tell my clients, okay, what is your so it's part of your non-negotiable, right? What is something that, okay, if I get lower than this amount, or if I don't get, then it's a non-negotiable, and it's my walk away point, right? You have to know that going in. That gives you so much confidence, because you sit there and you say, okay, that if I don't get this, I'm walking away. Yeah. And that gives you power, because they don't want you leaving from the negotiation table. And if you know it so clearly and you're so well prepared, between your BATNA, your knowing what your value is, all these different things that has nothing to do with my innate confidence, right? So I might have that innate confidence and I might have a leg up on other things. But if you've done this analysis, you've done the worst case scenario, you know what your value and your worth is, you know all these things, you go into it confident.
Yeah.
Confident in your positions, confident and that also takes out so much stress and allows you to have these conversations, because suddenly you're not feeling sort of, okay, I know. I'm not ready to walk away. I'm going to have a conversation. I'm going to try to find a way no matter what. I'm going to ask a question, try to get you out. I'm going to do all that. And that we can have another conversation that will be a long one. All the different ways of getting them to come to your side. But it starts with confidence. It comes with empathy. It comes with emotional intelligence. All those are going to come into the overall strategy that I'm going to have. to get you as my client the best deal and put you in the best position.
I love that, because when you talk about when you bring in BATNA, you bring in the reservation or the walkaway point, the reservation point. I mean, that's the beauty of the BATNA, right? Is that if you know what you're walking away to, if you're very clear about what plan B is, and when plan B becomes plan A, if it does,
it's okay.
Then you and your client know what that reservation point is, and you can get up with confidence and walk to that other option. And I think so many negotiators fail to have that BATNA, or they don't examine with their client what that BATNA is, so that when they're threatening to walk away, they don't have any clue. They don't, because they don't really have any clue why they're walking away or what they would be walking away to.
Right.
I love that. Oh.
And I think that's one of the most important things that you could go into it, because that alone, as someone who has negotiated against big companies, as a smaller, representing a smaller company or an individual with less perceived, like what you would think power is, walking in with that kind of information and that knowledge and that, just energy of it.
Yeah.
It puts me in such a good position to negotiate, and it gives me more power than you would think. Many times more power than they thought I had.
Yeah.
So, it's so important.
And all of what you're saying, tying back in the idea of preparation and confidence coming forward. Now, the other side, their perception of you is that you, even if you don't have power, even if you have no leverage, they're looking at you like you've got something. And I'm not sure what it is.
Oh, but the walkaway point is leverage.
That's leverage.
It is
absolutely.
leverage.
But they're now ready to do a deal because they're not looking at you as someone who's powerless, which that is the opposite of what we're talking about today. That lack of confidence, where you do walk into a negotiation and you can see the person across the table does not feel that they can defend their position, does not feel confident in their position or in what they're asking. And the moment that you sniff that out, or that you see the other side lacks the confidence or lacks the power on their side, then we know we've got them. And that's why that all of those things that you're talking about, those tips, those tricks, but the having of the self-confidence, the having of the self-worth, the self-assurance, the self-efficacy, all of that ties into what the other side is going to feel about you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we get a deal that's win-win for everyone.
Then we do the happy dance, because we do the win-win happy dance, right? I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I'm going to pivot, and I'm going to go into what I like to call our lightning round. Okay. And I've got to cue the music, right? Okay. Ray and Lena.
Okay.
Okay, lightning round.
Okay.
Now, these are just fun questions to get to know you a little bit more. You don't have to answer them with one word. You can tell me as much as you want about each of these. I want to hear your thoughts on them.
Okay, sure.
Here we go, the lightning round. Do you have a nickname? And if so, what is it?
So it's Maraki. I don't know if you could tell by that. Yiannitsarakos is a very Greek name, and Maraki is cute for Maria. It's called Little Maria. And so even though I'm in my 50s now, my aunts and many people still call me Maraki.
Oh, that's
so it's
great.
Little Maria. It's Little Maria.
Do your kids call you Little Maria?
No,
as well?
they do not.
No, they do. All right, next question. It is today particularly sweltering outside. So we're getting into the summertime, getting into that fun season in New York City. What's your favorite thing to do in summertime?
Go to Greece.
Get out of New York.
Go to Greece.
Stop smelling the garbage on 48th Street.
Go to Greece. Well, I mean, New York City, New York City has so many fun things. I've spent summers in the Hamptons. I mean, you can't go wrong. You're in New York. I mean, come on. But with that said, I do love to go to Greece. I spend most of my summers as a child in Greece. And now my kids get to come with me. I'll be leaving for Greece beginning of July for 17 days or something.
Nice.
And we're going for a wedding. But so it's nice to take a break from New York City, even though it's wonderful. But and go do some and go sit on an island in Greece
That sounds
Yes.
wonderful. In my mind, I'm already there. All right, and you work hard. You're a professional, but you said you grew up in the restaurant industry, so I assume you love to cook.
Yes.
When you have the time, what is your favorite meal to cook?
Okay, so I really cook everything. I love to cook, and if it wasn't like, okay, so if you didn't, I could have opened a restaurant. That's how much I love the restaurant business. Now I just help restaurant owners, as a business attorney. Greek, of course, I love. In my I do Greek Easter, which is a huge celebration in the Greek tradition. I've had 100 people at my house. And I make me and my husband do everything from scratch.
Wow.
Okay, with that said though, the thing that is most requested from me when I go to parties is my salads.
Really?
So, yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So they make, I make amazing different kinds of salads. I get special, like people just be like, could you just make the salad? I'm like, okay. So I make that. So even though I cook everything and I love to cook, I could have had a cooking show. Salads is my number one requested thing that people ask me for.
I love this. Is the second time, by the way, that salad has come up in the lightning round. One of my guests made a cookie salad.
It's not really cooking. It's
Yeah, that's true.
not. It's like putting together stuff. But like I said, I make everything. People request my salads.
I love it. Oh, that's great. Okay, and I notice a lot on your social media posts, Instagram posts, you love to dance.
Oh, yeah.
So what is your favorite style of music?
You mean that's not a workout? Well, I do love to dance. I think boxing. I box. I rock. I do a lot of things. Boxing has always been, rucking is a new thing, which I'm really enjoying. But I do box. I think it's a combination of hitting the bag and getting out your frustrations at the same time, being able to work out and get a great workout, both because it's both a little bit of strength and it has to do with and cardiovascularly.
Yeah.
So both. So boxing.
Love it. Boxing. Okay, great.
And I have a hard time with that one word answer. I'm having a hard time with that.
That's okay. I want all of the answers. It's great. And then the last question, second to last question. So speaking of strength from boxing, who is your favorite Greek god or goddess?
Oh yeah, Athena. I mean, come on, she's the goddess of strategy. I mean, that's what I do. And why? So her it's the owl, so she's wise, right? And strategy, and she's strong. I mean, how could she not be my favorite?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I wish I could ask you more and more questions, and I have so loved having you here.
Oh,
so my last question for you is, Maria, where can everybody find you?
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I am on LinkedIn. Maria Yiannitsarakos. You can find me there, and you can definitely DM me. People DM me all day long. And I'm available on Instagram. And of course, you could just Maria Y, not Yiannitsarakos, Maria Y at mynylaw.com. My-N-Y law. Yeah. So see, it's very convenient that my name is Maria Yiannitsarakos because then I can say M-Y. Yeah. My New York law.
Yeah, it's funny. When I first found you, I think My Real NY.
So on Instagram, I'm My Real NY.
So I thought it was and it's actually just your initials.
But it works perfectly.
It works perfectly. I loved it. I was like, that's a great handle.
Yeah. I didn't even think. I was like, wow, that works out so well for me.
That's awesome. All right. Well, you should go to Instagram, go to LinkedIn, connect with Maria because her content is phenomenal. What she has to say about confidence in negotiation, strategy in negotiation, all of her information on BATNA, on power. It's really compelling content. So thank you so much for being here.
I
really
love
appreciate
coming and talking with you. And finally, we get to meet in person.
I know, it's so great.
I prefer in person.
Me too. Well, we're going to take one more break, and then I'm going to come back with my final thoughts.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Evan Greenberg with Langdon Title. I specialize in title insurance across New York, helping real estate attorneys, agents, and brokers close with confidence. I solve problems fast and keep your deals moving. Contact me anytime.
This beautiful set here at Studio 1873 is brought to you by the Everset. The Everset provides full-service staging and furniture rental solutions in the New York area. We work with Brown Harris Stevens and many other top real estate firms, staging their homes to sell quickly and at the highest price possible. Our staging is affordable without sacrificing quality or design. For more information, please visit us at staging.theeverset.com or email us at staging@theeverset.com to request a free proposal.
All right, welcome back. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with 3 takeaways from our conversation with Maria that will help you understand why building confidence as a negotiator is so important. Number 1, self-confidence creates clarity. When you believe in your voice, your value, and your vision, you speak differently. You stop chasing approval and you start communicating with purpose. You don't over-explain. You don't backpedal. You don't interpret silence as rejection. And number 2, self-confidence changes the temperature in the room, as we were talking about with Maria. It shifts the energy. People respond to how you carry yourself, how much you trust your own position, your tone, your timing. When you walk in grounded with self-assurance, it invites respect, trust, and engagement. You don't have to dominate the room. You just have to know your space in it. And last, self-confidence is not about being right or being perfect. Whether you're negotiating a high-stakes deal or advocating for your worth or navigating everyday conversations, remember that self-confidence can exist without perfection. It's about being present. It's about showing up fully, standing behind your words, and knowing that your presence at the table is not just deserved, it's essential. And that's the Shear line today, everybody. As a reminder, you can support this show by following us, subscribing, rating, and reviewing this podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just go to getmorenetwork.com, and there you can check out all of the amazing shows on the More Network, including past episodes of Shear Line. You can find me all over Instagram at archway.partners, as well as on YouTube and Facebook at Eirik the Expert. You can contact the Excelsior team at BHS by going to bhsusa.com, and you can connect with my company, Archway Partners Coaching, by visiting Archway Partners, Inc., and there you can find out more information about our brand new Mighty Network community. So go to archwaypartnersinc.com and you'll see a link to go to the Mighty Network community. Check it out. There's a ton of great negotiation content, buyer psychology content, value proposition, and content about and information about all of the different courses, group coaching, individual coaching that we're doing there at Archway Partners. So just as a reminder, as we know from our closing of this show, there's a key for every lock, but it's the right combinations of grooves, cuts, and teeth that lift the pins and create the shear line. Until next time, keep turning curiosity into connection, mystery into mastery, and keep unlocking what's possible. See you next time, everybody.